Opens you like and express your thoughts. Opinionated.
OPs, do you know what? I've had this room change. It's great. I love it. So I can't sit where I normally would sit because the sun's always in my eyes. But I had a request from a young lady by the name of Gabriana. Wana. Anyway, she sent me one to look at as to the fact that there's so much out there for women in terms of help, but there isn't so much out there for men. Now, I looked into this. Gabs, there are loads of help for men, but unfortunately, men, we're the problem. We are the problem, and society's mental thought as to what a man is the problem, and I'll tell you why. As guys, we don't admit when we're in trouble. We don't admit when things are going wrong. We don't admit when we need help. We don't really talk about our feelings and our emotions, which sadly we need to do more of. Women tend to be very open. They share cubicles with each other in a club. They can stand there and look at each other naked. So thus making them very accepting and very open. I know they're bad examples, but they are really good examples. That's an oxymoron, isn't it? But the whole point is women are a lot more in touch with their emotions, and as men sometimes we feel like it's a bit feminine. And that's because the stereotype of a man, the ideal of a man is someone who is strong. Someone who is like the breadwinner, who's a man's man, who takes charge. But that's not what a man is. A man is someone with a dick. That's the plain and simple, you know. You have no boobs unless you got, you know, gym boobs. Someone who's very masculine in tone, who's male. That's a man. But we put things on top of that to say, well, you're not a man if you don't do this. You're not a man if you don't. I don't like football, and I've been told I'm not a man because of that. In America, that's soccer. And it kind of really does push those stereotypes as to what is expected and what is a man. The sad part of all of this is, it shouldn't be the case. We're human. And so we might need help. We might need someone to talk to. But we have to be willing in order to open up in order to do that. There are men out there who get abused by their wives or girlfriends, physically. There are men out there who get abused by their wives or girlfriends mentally. There are men out there, believe it or not, who get raped by their girlfriends or their wives. And yet, if these guys were to go and report it to the police, they might take down the notes, or they will, and yet they would probably laugh and hardly take it seriously. And that's sad, again, because it's showing you and pushing those stereotypes and really enforcing those stereotypes as to what a man should be. But yet a woman could just scream rape, and it's amazing how many people will be around to not only condemn you, but tell you you're guilty as charged even before it's been proven. I've had friends who this has happened to, you know, who have been accused of something they've not done. There are footballers out there who get accused of these things that haven't happened. But yeah, if it was to happen the other way around, then you're not a man. How could you let that be? And so I feel, Gabby, in answer to your question, men need to help themselves. We need to stop taking on that pressure of what a stereotype of a man is and let that freaking stupidness go. If we're not going to do that, then yeah, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a real freaking problem. And so I hope those watching this, I'm keeping it very light and very general, and I'm not trying to be too concise with this whole thing because it will take up a lot of time. But really, it's just, I feel we need to seriously let go of what our stereotypes and roles should be. And we need to just do things as best as we can. I have no issue if I was to be a dad and stay home and look after my child. I mean, if my wife wanted to go out to work. Obviously, I haven't met that woman who does that yet, but if it did, I wouldn't care. I have no issues if my girlfriend or wife earns more money than me. Why should I? But yet, a lot of men have these problems because they feel demasculated. And so it's kind of like, all of these things will constantly play on some people's mind, but additionally, maybe they're just not secure. You know, so we need to kind of take that on board and say, as men, we're not going to fit into your stereotypes. Here I am. This is me. And we should listen to each other a bit more and be a little bit more open. I'm not saying let's go and share a cubicle in a club together when we're taking a number 2 or doing a number 1. We're not that kind of way. But emotionally, I think it's good for guys to try and talk a bit more and be more out there with things, you know. And so, Gabby, hopefully that will improve. Hopefully this video is a start of that as well and helps the process. I'm also doing another video based upon mental health, which I'm going to basically put that up, and I'm going to relate that to myself. So here's me being open and practicing what I'm preaching. So Opies, give me your thoughts on men and why we don't have enough help stuff out there and why we're not discussing a lot more issues about ourselves. It'll be really good to know. Tell me your thoughts. Hit the subscribe button. Hopefully we're back to gaming soon, and TV, and movies, and it's too much. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Take care. Opies, I'm out.